Hey guys, my name is Shai and this is Evermind Tarot Scopes. Although today it's not a tarot scope reading, this is going to be me talking about the North Node in Virgo, South Node in Pisces, right? Also, this is for you if you have your North Node in the 6th house. So, this is an interesting one. So, North Node in Pisces, you're going to be learning about details, about consistency, about reliability, about self-sovereignty, about cultivating your inner light, about not self-sacrificing, and about being of service without damaging yourself, right? I mean, that's like not self-sacrificing, right? Not being a martyr. So before I talk too much about the Virgo energy, let's take a look at your South Node in Pisces, right? The South Node in Pisces. So Pisces energy, amazing, beautiful. And this is interesting for me to talk about because I'm the opposite of you guys. My North Node is in Pisces. So I am always tuning into the higher frequencies of Pisces and letting go of the lower frequencies of Virgo. You guys are doing the exact opposite. So this is a really interesting mental exercise for me to be tuning into your energy and seeing how you're going in the opposite direction. And this is maybe just a good moment for me to stop and mention that this is why whenever you see someone talking about, life paths and how to live a good life and just general life advice and stuff like that, right? There's always someone learning the exact opposite. Life paths, life lessons, there's always one way and the exact opposite way, and they're both equally valid, and it just depends which direction that you're going. So for you guys, you're very comfortable in the Pisces energy. That means that you guys are big dreamers, right? Very deeply spiritual. With the Pisces South Node, you have just this whole axis, right? This is a very, very spiritual axis. So you have walked many, many lifetimes in spiritual service, being priests, priestesses, witches, medicine women, shaman, anything like that, right? Any type of... Also, anything to do like working in medicine and healing arts, and anything to do with like artistry, right? And music. Like this is spiritual and this is artistic. With the Pisces South Node, there's also potential that you have been a martyr, like literally you've been burnt at the stake, that you have really suffered because of your spirituality, and maybe sometimes there's been some kind of obliteration of the self. It's like something about your past life experiences have obliterated you. And in this life, perhaps your childhood was somehow blurry, somehow hazy, somehow a little messy, because when Pisces is in its lower frequency energies, it's kind of like the bottom of the ocean, right? The ocean floor. It's dark, it's oppressive, it's a bit of a mess, and everything is all over the place because everything filters down to the bottom of the ocean, right? And everything in the whole universe filters down to the bottom of Pisces energy, to the lowest frequencies of Pisces. And the lowest frequencies of Pisces can include things, like horror, depression, suicide and death and decay and zombies, all of that kind of like spooky, deathly type of stuff. That's all part of this. Pisces is very serious energy. It is the culmination of all other energies. So also you are a very old soul. Of course, I don't really think that like old souls incarnate with specific types of birth charts, and that new souls have different types of birth charts. It can be really anything, right? We're not limited in that kind of way. With a Pisces South Node, I would say for many Pisces South Node people, there is a high chance that you are an older soul, right? Just because otherwise you wouldn't really be vibrating in this fashion. Or, maybe you're a brand new soul. It could go that way too, because you're fresh out of source. So, but those of you who resonate with my videos, you're typically an old soul, right? That's just because that's who I attract, and that's who understands the kind of stuff I'm saying. So you've had very intense like spiritual training through many lives, and likely something kind of hazy or oppressive or dark about your childhood and early years. And your whole life is going to be rising up out of the muck, right? Rising up out of the muck, rising up out of the muck, because you're rising up out of the deep waters. Pisces, the depths of the ocean, the deep waters. And so, I mean, this could be playing out literally in your life where you've had different weird life experiences, or, you know, this is like your emotions, or you've been a complete daydreamer and maybe you've never really felt present in your body. Maybe you've just been completely zoned out or completely off your rocker, like just, you know, being a daydreamer, right? And maybe you were really criticized about that as a child, always staring out the window, daydreaming. You were always criticized about being a dreamer, right? That can be that kind of thing. So, I mean, you could even have, I'm just getting a lot of examples here. You could even have a history of, you know, drug abuse, because, you know, Pisces is wanting to escape, right? Or maybe even denying your life by being like disappearing into video games or movies or art or like whatever it is. There can be this disappearance, this dissolution into fantasy, or spirituality. Spiritual bypassing might be something that you learn that is something for you to stop doing. All of that. So you're coming up out of the dream, out of the darkness, out of the waters, out of your emotions, really, really, really deep, massively empathic, sensitive emotions. You guys are so deeply intuitive, all of that with the Pisces South Node. Virgo North Node. So this is where I say you're rising up out of the muck. You're learning to separate yourself from everybody else. And so empaths, right? You're all empaths and you have been essentially subjected to everybody else's emotions. And you're learning to separate yourself from that because everybody's emotions have been flooding in on you, and you've been feeling them. And sometimes I bet a lot of you have felt overwhelmed by the emotions of others. So you're rising up out of the muck, and really solidifying your life with the Virgo North Node. So with the Virgo North Node, huge focus on finding your own inner light. Finding your own inner light, right? Not the muck of everybody else, learning to separate yourself from the noise and the emotions of everybody else and finding out who you really are. Who are you really, right? No longer being overwhelmed by others. Who are you? Who are you? And finding the light within, right? Finding the light within, finding your own guiding light within yourself. That's just think of the Hermit card in the tarot, right? The Hermit carrying the lantern. You have to find the light within yourself. So there could be really big challenges in your life where you learn to separate yourself from the rest of the world. Maybe you even go through phases in your life where you are like literally alone. You could literally become some type of hermit, or you just find that there's not really anybody else supporting you at some point in your life, as because you're being triggered to go on your North Node journey and really learn to stand on your own 2 feet. And also, but there's this big learning about how to perfect your craft. Perfectionism, looking at the details, learning to look for evidence, learning to look for what is real, right? Learning to look for what is real, because Pisces can be so dreamy, and there's going to be lessons where you have to learn to maybe, you know, do the math, right? Do the math. Actually get realistic. Actually get logical. Turn your mind on. Because the thing with Virgo, even though it's earth energy, it's very minded and very analytical. Virgo's ruled by Mercury. So you're getting acquainted with Mercury. You're getting acquainted with your own mind. And instead of just making decisions based on your intuition, you're going to be challenged to go, because you might find, oh, you know, I believe that I should just follow my intuition all of the time. And that can be true. If you're a Pisces North Node, you're going to have to learn to follow your intuition, right? A Virgo North Node, you're going to have to learn to double check your facts, right? Instead of just taking something at face value, you're going to have to learn to check your facts, right? Instead of going to some, faith healer, you'd actually research them and decide, oh, does it actually look like they are the real deal, or are they a scam? Because Pisces South Node, you could get, early in life, you could be very vulnerable to scams and manipulative people. But with the Virgo North Node, you're going to quickly realize that you need to check your facts, you need to do your research. And before you jump into something, you're going to have to do the math to figure out, can you actually afford it? Do all the numbers line up? Is this actually logical? Does this actually apply to reality, right? If I look out at the world, does this actually make sense to do this? And it's all kinds of things like that. And so many of you are probably artists at one way or another, right? Whether it's cook, maybe you just like to cook, maybe you're a painter, maybe you're a musician, maybe you're a poet, who knows? I don't care what you do, right? Some type of creative expression, whatever it is, you're going to find that you're going to be really interested in getting really highly skilled, right? Highly skilled at your craft, and you're going to be learning about details and the importance of details and the importance of making it look nice. And this is funny because this is the exact opposite of my life journey with my Pisces North Node. So the opposite of you, right? I learned to stop being a perfectionist. I learned to start doing things even if I'm not doing them well. I learned that I don't need to be perfect. I can just do it good enough, and it doesn't matter if there's some mistakes or if it doesn't really look that great, whatever, just post it anyway. Like that kind of thing, right? That's the Pisces North Node, but you're on the opposite, right? Because you guys have already been in that phase, and now you're learning, no, I want to make this look really good. I want this to be perfect. I'm going to go for the details. So you could be really pressed to, like if you're a writer, to really go over and over and over and over and really work on your commas and make sure you have a very deep understanding of grammar and making sure everything is perfect. You could become a copy editor, right? If you're a musician, you're going to be practicing. You're not just like a Pisces North Node musician would just be like, oh, whatever, I don't even know how to play this instrument. I don't need to know how to read music. I'm just going to like play from my heart, right? Nah, Virgo North Node, you're going to learn how to perfect your craft. You're going to learn how to practice your scales over and over and over again so that they're perfected and that you can play a really challenging piece of classical music without making any mistakes. And you're going to want to have everything all lined up, all your ducks in a row, and having it all look really good. You know, if you're cooking, you're not going to be one of those people who maybe, you know, early in life, you just like to throw everything in the pot and hope it works out. But with Virgo North Node, you're going to want to, you're going to be challenged to, right? Maybe at first you hate this, right? Maybe at first you hate this because a lot of the time with our North Node, we don't like it. We don't like where that's going because it feels so wrong to us. But the more we learn to appreciate how it is beneficial to us, the better, the more easier it's going to become to like accept the North Node, right? There comes a point in your life where you accept your North Node. So, you know, when you're cooking, you're going to want to like learn all about the science behind the food science behind the cooking, and you're going to want to know like what herbs go together and like what wine pairs with that meal and all this thing, like to really have everything look nice, right? Everything look nice. And the trouble here is that you might find yourself being activated by other Virgos, because we very often have North Node, like whatever our North Node sign is, right? We often have people with their sun or their moon in that sign come into our lives to kind of show us the way, to share their energy with us, right? So you guys are likely to find Virgo people coming into your lives, and maybe you don't like them. Maybe they micromanage you. Maybe they control you. Maybe they always criticize you and tell you what's wrong, and maybe that's really triggering to you. But they're actually trying to teach you how to really embody the Virgo energy. So that can be a little challenging at first, but if you can understand, like really understand why do they want it to be perfect? Why do they want it to look so nice? Why is that important to them? Then you can understand the value in going in that direction, right? The value in going in that direction. So, and at first you could find yourself always falling short, right? You could feel yourself always falling short. Some Virgo comes along and they set these high standards. Virgo has very exacting standards. They want everything to look nice, right? They want everything to look nice. They want everything to be right and proper and correct. So you come along and you're trying to learn the Virgo way of doing things, and you can find yourself constantly disappointing the Virgo expectations, constantly falling short. And that can be really traumatic, right? Because you're thinking, I keep trying to be perfect. I keep trying to do the Virgo thing. I keep trying to pay attention to the details, but then my mind just keeps checking out and I forget, or like I thought I caught all the details, but then it turns out I messed up on all of these commas and all this stuff, right? So just keep pushing through that, right? Remember that you're practicing this. You're practicing your North Node. And later in life, and I don't care how old you are when you're watching this, right? Later in your life, it's going to be easier, right? You just keep practicing in that direction. It's going to become natural to you. And you're going to find that it's so satisfying. When you have fully perfected something and done the details, you're going to be like, wow, this is so satisfying. I'm so glad I put all of that time and effort. And it becomes easier to do that because then you've acquired the skill of being detail oriented. And so I've been talking a lot about how Virgo is all about this details and perfectionism, but that's not really all Virgo is, right? Really, this is a deeply spiritual thing where you're going to be dropping out of, I mean, this could massively be dropping out of a religious system. Pisces South Node, you could easily have grown up in a very Christian household or had some other type of, I say Christian because Pisces is a very Christian energy, or some other type of communal system, right? Some type of communal system, and you eventually find in your life that this communal system, whether it's like a thought system, a political system, or like ancestral karma, right? There's some type of group thing that is holding you down, holding you back, and holding you back. And you're going to have to learn to separate yourself from that on an energetic level, right? On an energetic level. And so this is no more believing what other people say, no more even caring about what other people say, just completely dropping out of any preconceived thought systems. It's like, don't let anybody give you their ideas. Don't let anybody influence your emotions, right? Virgo is going to be reclaiming your soul sovereignty. Because with Pisces, the energy just all bleeds together, right? It's like there's almost no separation between you and everyone else. It's like all is one, right? Pisces is a very, very like oneness, all is one type of energy. And you're going to be at some point in your life, no, I am me. I am me. You are you and I am me, right? This is me, I'm here, and I am this. And it's going to be reclaiming your sense of self, reclaiming your soul, like pulling your energy back, massively pulling your energy back, right? Ooh, like really getting comfortable in your own skin, really realizing who you are at the soul level. And in many ways, this is similar to Aquarius South Node, Leo North Node, because it's this reclamation of the self. This is something that these two have together, right? The reclamation of the self. For you, it's with Leo, the Leo North Node, it's more about this creative expression. For the Virgo North Node, it's more about pulling that light into yourself and just carrying it within you and becoming a lamp that walks the earth for others. And so that's the thing, right? Your Pisces South Node wants to bring the light to humanity, wants to be the light in the world, wants to promote oneness, and wants to really bring spiritual transcendence, because the highest frequencies of Pisces is to transcend everything all the way back to source. Spiritual transcendence, the transcendence of everything, right? So how do you get there if you have a Pisces South Node? You take your light and bring it within yourself. You reclaim all of your light. Like really bring all of your light back into yourself. You guys could be doing a ton of soul fragment retrieval work in your life, whether you know it or not. Traveling around to different places in the world, or just having different meditative experiences, different soul experiences. You don't actually have to go places to reclaim your soul fragments, although that can really help. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. Just different experiences where you learn to pull your energy back, and where you kind of relive past life experiences and reclaim that part of yourself that was lost, pulling it all back to you, right? Bringing all of these lost parts of yourself back to you and pulling it all in yourself, and like becoming like a light, like literally like a light, like the light that goes in a lantern, and you are the lantern, the light goes inside of you. And then that is how you become a guiding light. And then you just exist and live your life. And you might even find that your life is relatively reclusive, although this really depends on the house placement. So that's not going to be the case for everybody, right? This is why you have to watch the sign and the house placement of your North Node and blend them together, right? Because it varies a lot. So, but as you become this light keeper, this lighthouse for others, then you find that that is actually how you satisfy your Pisces South Node. It does the kickback effect, and then it's like you become the light in the darkness. The Pisces energy kind of recedes from you. You're still familiar, you're perfectly familiar with it. You know your way around it, but you have now separated yourself from it. But others are still out there in the ocean, and now you are the light in the middle of the ocean, right? You are the light in the void. You are the star in the void, and others will be attracted to your light. And maybe you'll interact with them, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll just be an inspiration to them. Maybe you'll just be a guiding light for them. And this is going to be so massively about establishing boundaries, right? Virgo North Node, you're gonna really learn hard lessons in life about establishing boundaries, keeping other people's energy off of you, telling people no, I don't have the energy for that, telling people no, I'm just not interested, right? And really focusing on the self. But in doing that, that is how you become a guiding light for others, because with the Pisces South Node, there can be this tendency for all of your light to be drained away from you. Just all of your light being drained out into the ocean, like taking a candle and throwing it in the ocean. That's kind of what happened to you. With the Pisces South Node, there can be this feeling of at some point, it's like your soul was extinguished because it just like it fell into the water, right? And you just couldn't maintain the light in the water. So in this life, you would reignite your soul, reclaim your soul, and become a light in the ocean. Now you are the light in the ocean, and others will find their way because of your light. So this is the most important thing for you to understand with the Virgo North Node, is that you help others, you become a light for others by taking care of yourself, by putting yourself first, by tending to your own light, by tending to your own life and living your own life and doing whatever it is that satisfies you in life. And that will naturally just allow you to be the guiding light for others. And there's nothing else that you need to do beyond that. So that is what I have to say for the Virgo North Node. And if you guys would like to connect with me more deeply, I have my original channel is Evermind Oracle, and I post more esoteric spiritual content on there that will likely resonate with you if you identify as a starseed or a light worker. You can also check out my Etsy shop where I do tarot readings, astrology readings, and some other stuff on there. So I hope to talk to you guys later. Sending you so much love and light. Bye.